Many consider luck to be a rare, intangible thing, but when it strikes, it makes waves. This is exactly what happened to the protagonist of today's story. Before all this, he was just a 41-year-old with a criminal record and just $5 in his pocket. Like every hopeful American, he bought a lottery ticket, thinking nothing of it. However, he achieved fame overnight as he managed to win the $30 million jackpot. It was a point where his life went through many changes, for better and for worse. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to our channel. Today, we'll be covering the story of Abraham Shakespeare and his mysterious disappearance. As always, before we begin, make sure that you press the like button and subscribe to support our channel so we can bring you more quality stories like this. Also, if you don't want to miss out on a single one of our uploads, press the bell notification button and turn on YouTube notifications on your smartphone. Without further ado, let us dive right into the story. Before he was known by many as the most famous missing man in Central Florida, Abraham was a simple man. He was the son of a citrus picker. His livelihood was full of struggles, as he had no car, no driver's license, or even a credit card. He spent most of his time in homes for juvenile delinquents. He could barely read and write, but he was lost when it came to the intricacies of using a language. As the 41-year-old man who had to survive with his own strength, he made $8 an hour working as a garbage man. Most of his time was spent unloading trucks, washing dishes, and doing labor work for whoever was willing to pay. Abraham also had his fair share of run-ins with the law. His criminal record, while comparatively not as bad as it could have been, contained charges for loitering, assault, driving without a license, and failing to pay child support for the children that he had fathered. He was thrown into jail 2 times, and ever since he got out in 1995, he had been living with his mother. However, our story truly begins on a fateful day in November of the year 2006. He was asked to assist a truck driver named Michael Ford in the task of delivering certain food products in an overnight drive that was en route to Miami. He rode shotgun with Michael as they made deliveries in Lakeland and Winter Haven in one go. As time passed, they decided to make a stop at the Town Star Mini-Mart that was located in Frostproof. Michael inquired Abraham if he needed anything from the mart, and Shakespeare simply asked for 2 quick pick lottery tickets, as he handed him 2 $5 bills when he came back to the vehicle. For those of you who don't know, quick pick lottery tickets are tickets where you don't have to fill in the numbers by yourself. There are certain kinds of lottery tickets that allow you to fill in your own numbers on the ticket, but this particular type of ticket comes with its own unique set of numbers. As luck would have it, it didn't take long for Abraham to receive the good news. With the lucky numbers 6, 12, 13, 34, 42, and 52, he managed to strike the jackpot. The jackpot was $31 million, and Abraham was taken aback by the sheer sum of the money alone. He was given the option to either accept the money as an annuity or as a lump sum. For those of you who are in the unknown, accepting the winnings as an annuity would provide you with annual payments over time. A lump sum payout would provide you the full amount with a fixed reduction of the prize money for tax purposes. Even after taxes, Abraham received a whopping $11 million, more or less. He was still taking time to comprehend what had just happened to him. He was finally rich. This was something that he had only seen in his dreams, and his dreams turned into reality overnight. For someone with a criminal background, the actions he took after he received the money may surprise you. Before he even received the money, the government laid claim of the child support that he owed, which was a sum that was close to $9,000. Afterwards, his order of business was to put up $1 million in a trust fund for his son. He decided to treat those who had been in his life with his newfound wealth as well, as he gave his stepfather $1 million as well. He also gave each of his 3 stepsisters $250,000. His generosity did not stop at his family, however, as he ended up paying off a mortgage worth $185,000 for a friend of his. He also ended up paying a mortgage of $60,000 for a man that he barely knew, and he did the same for another man that was not even from his neighborhood, only because they had known each other for a few years now, in his own words. His acts did not stop there, as he ended up buying a house near Lake Wales for $125,000. He had only seen the house once from afar, as he immediately made the purchase and decided to rent it out to a few people that he had just met. If that wasn't enough, he also reached out to his brother's son's best friend and gave him $40,000. He also sent money for his mother and sister as well. He reached out to the Wachovia National Bank and wrote cashier's checks to friends. Cashier's checks are the most secure kinds of checks a bank could write, as they guarantee that the money would be given out to them, out of the bank's wealth itself, no matter what. He also avidly paid for funerals. Some called these acts of generosity from a man who knows how it is to struggle, while others dubbed it as misguided stupidity that will eventually leave him broke. No matter which you believe in, Abraham took care of those around him. After all these actions, he eventually treated himself as he bought a 2006 F-150 pickup, a 2007 BMW 750i, and a new home for himself. The house he bought was almost 10 miles away from his old neighborhood, as it included an enclosed pool and 2 garages that could house 4 cars. He especially bought this house within a gated community, due to the fact that people were beginning to stick around Abraham for his wealth, and it was getting to him. He made the purchase in January 2007 for $1.1 million. It was a secure house that came with surveillance cameras. 3 months after he purchased the house, Abraham found himself summoned to court, where he was notified that he was being sued by none other than Michael Ford, the truck driver that Abraham accompanied during the food drive en route to Miami. Michael, now 34 years old, claimed that the winning ticket was his, and that the money, or what was left of it, should be his as well. However, when Abraham detailed everything that happened on the day he bought the ticket, while also bringing a garbage bag full of tickets that he had bought over the years, the jury had seen enough, as they immediately sided with Abraham and his convincing truth. However, on the day of the last appeals hearing, Abraham did not show up. Abraham's friends and family grew concerned, as they have not heard from him for months. They contacted the police in order to file a police report, as they stuck posters on all popular spots around the town, hoping that somebody would see them and know something at least. While the authorities received many tips, most of them led nowhere. After all, some people tried their own luck by giving false tips in order to lay claim to the reward that the police were giving for the finding of Abraham. The authorities claimed that they simply needed to know if he was okay. If Abraham is hiding, he needs to stay that way. The authorities will respect his decision. However, things changed when Abraham's close friend Eddie Dixon spoke with the police and gave his 2 cents. "The only thing I know is that's my best friend. Y'all need to go ask that white woman where that man at." The white woman that Eddie was speaking of is Dee Dee Moore. She met with Abraham, claiming to not be there for his money, but to help him as a financial advisor and help him set up a business to take better care of his wealth. With the help of Dee Dee, Abraham managed to set up Abraham Shakespeare LLC. The truth was that other than his initial act of kindness and his purchase of $1 million home, he wasn't really spending the money that he had. The only recent luxury purchases that he had made were the purchases of a new Rolex watch and a new Nissan car. Dee Dee noticed this and saw an opportunity. She decided to take $1 million of the funds for herself, as she purchased new cars and treated herself to a nice vacation, while keeping Abraham in the dark about this. Abraham's disappearance was sudden, but it was undeniable that it happened some time after the initial formation of the company. Dee Dee was left to answer the public as to where Abraham ran to, as she claimed that he simply wanted to be alone after being so annoyed at people asking him for money all the time. Meanwhile, Dee Dee was facing her own set of troubles, as the cars that she bought herself with Abraham's money were about to be repossessed due to her inability to keep up with the payments. She decided to be crafty as she faked a rape and kidnapping attempt in order to gain some money through insurance, while also used that as a reason as to why her car was still in debt. But investigations saw through her deception, as she was charged and punished on probation for her false claims. With all of this, Abraham's close friends and family were getting warier. They were receiving texts from Abraham claiming that he's doing fine and that he needs some time away, but the texts themselves were concerning. For one, Abraham's close friends knew that he did not really mind people asking him for money. Actually, he thrived on it. After all, he went from nothing to something, and he loved the fact that he could make a person's day. The other and more concerning fact were within the texts themselves. Abraham's usual texting style wasn't the most elegant, as they were barely put together and usually takes time and effort to decipher. Out of nowhere, the text that Abraham was sending to his loved ones sounded coherent. This was because it was none other than Dee Dee herself that was pretending to be Abraham through his phone. When she received questions that she couldn't answer, she would just leave the person on read. The concerns eventually grew to the point where the family filed a police inquiry. The police even received a tip to check Dee Dee's home. The day they searched Dee Dee's house, they made a shocking discovery. It was Abraham's dead body, 9 feet deep under her backyard. When Dee Dee was questioned on the spot, she claimed that she had killed him in self-defense. The investigations continued as they noticed all the money that Dee Dee had being siphoned out of Abraham's company. The police eventually discovered that Dee Dee had been looking for someone to take the fall for Abraham's death, even offering to pay $200,000 if they would do so. However, justice prevailed, as she was arrested with a $1 million bail set. In the December of 2012, Dee Dee was announced guilty on first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. This story just goes to show that you might be the luckiest guy in the world, but if you're not careful enough to choose the right people, the people around you will be your downfall. Did you like this story? For more thrilling stories like this, subscribe to our channel and press the bell button to get an update every single time we upload a new video. Make sure to like this video and share it with your family and friends. Thank you for watching, and see you all next time.